Making your first million, it's a dream that a lot of young men have. And if I'm being honest, at the beginning, it's almost always about the money. You want expensive clothes, a beautiful black car, an apartment you're proud to come home to. You want people to look at you and think, yeah, this guy made it. And I know what most people expect me to say next. That money isn't important. That happiness can't be bought. That chasing status is meaningless. But honestly, I don't think that's true. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a better life. If money, status, or nice things are what motivate you today, then let them motivate you. Because after a while, it doesn't really matter what got you moving. What matters is that you started. Sometimes I think the desire to make $1 million at a young age isn't really about money at all. It's about refusing to live an ordinary life. You want the freedom to choose how you live, to buy what you actually like, to eat where you want, to stop working a job you hate, to stop depending on someone else's decisions, to stop spending your life around people you don't even want to be around. And whether people like to admit it or not, money gives you that freedom. But there's something almost nobody talks about. Trying to build something big when you're young is an incredibly lonely path. At some point, your friends stop understanding why you're always busy. People tell you that you're working too much. Some laugh at your ideas. Others are convinced you'll fail. But that's not even the hardest part. The hardest part is doubting yourself every single day. Because before you have results, you don't look like someone who's building a future. You look like someone who's wasting the best years of their life. And maybe that's why most people quit. Not because the work is too hard, but because it's incredibly difficult to look foolish for years, without knowing if it'll ever be worth it. I've noticed something else too. The guys who become completely obsessed with their work eventually become pretty boring people. It's hard to talk to them about anything except business, ideas, work, the next project. From the outside, they even look a little weird, sometimes like complete freaks. But then a few years go by, and somehow those same freaks are the ones living completely different lives. While everyone else is relaxing, they're still thinking. While everyone else moves on to something new, they keep returning to the same goal, day after day, year after year. And eventually, that obsession starts paying off. So if I had to choose, I'd rather be the weird guy than spend my whole life convincing myself I never wanted success in the first place. Because I don't think this is really about money. Sometimes, it's easier to convince yourself the game isn't worth playing than admit you're afraid to play at all. It's easier to say, I don't need that, then quietly admit to yourself, maybe I was just scared. Of course, there are people who genuinely don't care about becoming rich, and that's completely okay. But I also think many people use that idea as protection, because it's easier that way. You didn't lose, you just decided the game wasn't for you. But reality doesn't change. You still check your bank account before buying something. You're still limited by money. You're still dependent on circumstances. The only difference is now you have a story that makes it feel acceptable. And you know what's interesting? People who actually have money rarely spend their time explaining why money doesn't matter. They simply live their lives. But when you don't have it, it's surprisingly easy to build an entire philosophy around not having it. So yes, I'd rather look a little strange. Maybe people won't always understand me. Maybe work will be the only thing on my mind for a while. At least I'm honest with myself. I'm not pretending I don't want it, because I do. And I'm willing to pay for that dream. With my time, my attention, my comfort. There's something else that's important to say. Most people will never become millionaires. That's the truth. And nobody knows in advance whether they'll be one of the few who make it. But I still believe trying is one of the best things a young man can do. Not because everyone has to become rich, but because the journey changes you. It teaches patience, responsibility, discipline. It teaches you how to lose, how to keep going when nobody believes in you anymore. And one day, you realize something. It wasn't only your results that changed. You changed. You stopped looking for shortcuts. You stopped waiting for the perfect moment. You stopped hoping someone else would come and fix your life for you. And maybe that's the most valuable thing you can earn while you're young. Not money, character. Because money can disappear, luck can disappear, connections can disappear. But the person you become can never be taken away from you. So maybe the goal isn't for everyone to become a millionaire. Maybe the goal is simply to try, to build something that's yours, to live differently, to stay in the game a little longer than everyone else, and to find out what you're actually capable of. Take care of your mind. I'll see you in the next one.